Guten Tag. Yeah, I'm back with more German-based tools. Now this video is going to be all about Knipex, and I checked, and that's how it's pronounced, Knipex. If you haven't seen part 1 was all the tools other than Knipex. This is part 2, Knipex Boogaloo. We'll start with their 3 most popular pliers, and then we can move on to some of the more obscure Knipex tools. Up first is the Alligator Pliers. These use a slip joint mechanism with multiple holes to adjust the jaw width. If you compare these pliers to your traditional channel locks, you'll see the head is much thinner. They have opposing teeth in the jaws. The way these are shaped, the harder you push on the pliers, the more they grip. They claim you can put the pliers on a pipe and stand on them. Yeah, that's just not going to happen. It did booger up the tube quite a bit, so they do have a lot of grip. The second is the Cobra Pliers. These are similar to the Alligator, but they have a push-button mechanism. This offers you near infinite adjustment. They really kicked it up a notch with these. They have the same opposing teeth as their Alligator brothers, and the same thin head, so they can get into some tight spaces. The third type is the Pliers Wrench. These are hella based. It's like pliers, but combined with an adjustable wrench. It has the push-button adjustment mechanism from the Cobra Pliers, but the jaws stay parallel no matter what size you have it set to, so you always grab the nut by the flats. The smooth jaws also reduce marring. Once you get the hang of it, you can get a ratchet effect going on by lightening up your grip on the backstroke. Yeah, these pliers are really handy to keep around the shop. If we had to do a tier list for the pliers, I'd say the Alligator Pliers are squarely in Chad tier. I'd put the channel locks in Boomer tier, along with Wild and any of their rebrands. Your tool truck brands are going to be in Dank tier. They're going to be the same as the channel locks, but you'll get better fit and finish with them. I'd put your normie brands, your Stanley, Craftsman, etc., down in NPC tier. These are just import versions of the channel locks. At the bottom, in Simp tier, is going to be your Harbor Freight stuff, any of the oddball Amazon brands. The Cobra Pliers kick it up a notch, so they'll go in based Chad tier, and the Pliers Wrench blows everything else out of the water, so it's got to be at the top in Giga Chad tier. So yeah, Knipex is dominating the top 3 tiers. It's like a holy trinity of pliers. Their pliers are widely available on Amazon. Not too cheap, but not too expensive either. Oh, and they also make little tiny 4-inch pocket carry versions as well. Up next, I want to look at their mini Lineman's pliers. These are like Lineman's pliers, but small. They have the flat grippy part up front, a curved part for gripping nuts in the middle, and a wire cutter in the back. Surprisingly, my favorite use for these is on those flat spring-style hose clamps. This is another tool that I just leave sitting out on my workbench because I keep finding other uses for it. Now, in some of the reviews, people are complaining that theirs is defective because the jaws don't close all the way. That's cap. Lineman's pliers are supposed to have a gap when closed. This is so that when you're gripping wiring, you don't damage the copper conductor by squeezing it too tight. So they're intended to be that way. They're not defective. They're also extremely affordable at under 20 bucks. Another cool tool from Knipex is these diagonal cutters. We used to call them dikes, but now we have to say diagonal cutters. These long boys clock in at 10 inches in length. They advertise them as having 25% more cutting force over 8-inch diagonal cutters. They're great for when you need that additional cutting force, or if you need the extra length to get in somewhere. Knipex's cutting edges are hardened to 64 Hillaries, and they do a pretty good job of disclosing the maximum sizes that it can cut. I know this guy will cut through a rusted brake line pretty easy. $45 isn't too bad of a price for them. They're about half the price compared to Snap-on's long boys. Knipex also makes vice grip style locking pliers. I like these because they use the Euro style release mechanism. If you're not familiar with this style, you push up on the release lever, whereas on the American style you push down. It's a personal preference thing, but I think the Euro style is a little bit easier to use. This particular one they call the Universal Grip. It has a pivoting lower jaw. This lets you grip on to oddly shaped objects. It also has the parallel jaw status effect, where you can grab onto a nut by the flats to prevent rounding it off. They're pretty nice quality, nice forgings, nice riveting. The universal grip ones are a little expensive, but their standard ones are pretty affordable. I plan on doing a video in the future comparing all the different types of vice grip style pliers, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Number 7 is their Electrician's pliers. These are needle nose pliers, but with benefits. They have your standard grippy part at the tip. Then there's this notch, which you can use to bend electrical wire. The next 3 holes are wire strippers, and then a wire cutter in the back. Down at the base is a built-in crimping tool. These pliers came in really handy when I was wiring the electrical for my shop. You do have to be careful when ordering these. They come in both normal and metric. Don't get the metric one unless you're working with metric wire. Lastly, I want to talk about their bolt cutters. These are the 8-inch ones. They work great for cutting fencing. I use them to remove a large section of fencing on my property, and there's hardly any wear on the jaws. Mine have a return spring for the handles, and then there's a locking tab to hold them closed. You can get them without the return spring if you don't like it. Pricing on the bolt cutters will vary. You have to look at what options you want and decide from there. And you know the Germans, if they make a small one, they're also going to make a big-ass one. This is the 24-inch version. It's pretty OP. I use this to cut through a gas tank strap on a car when I didn't want to use an angle grinder near the tank. Here's a shot of it next to the small 8-inch one. They make these in larger sizes too, up to 36-inch. As with a lot of things, when the size goes up, the price goes up. Now I got my big ones through an Amazon warehouse deal, so that might be an option if you want to save a few bucks. Before we end, I do want to mention the different types of grips. You'll notice on mine some have a shiny red grip, some have a grippy red grip, and some have the 2-part overmolded grip. So if you don't care what type of grip you have, you can sometimes save a few bucks by checking the pricing on the other grip styles. So that's all I got for today. These are all of the Knipex tools that I have. Let me know if there's other based Knipex tools that I should look into. Thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to check out my channel for more tool videos. See you later. Bye.